So, do you want to know the story about Thomas Becket? Well, I can tell you. I was there when I was just a wee lad. All the trouble started when Henry II appointed Thomas as Archbishop. It was a glorious day for England, at least for the common people, that is. You see, they didn't know any better. I remember excitement filled the air. People made cakes, bread, and porridge just for the occasion. Brought quite an appetite to my young stomach. Children ran with sticks and dogs. The noise was incredible. Then when the ceremony started, people shoved their way into the Anglican cathedral to see the nobles. Women would comment and lust over their fine and fancy garments. Men would trade and sell even the clothes off their back. Children stood in awe of everything. For most of them, it was their first time at a ceremony. But when the king spoke, there was immediate hush over the whole congregation. Everyone was anxious to hear what he had to say. Remember I said it was a glorious day for England? Well, 'tis just for us. There was lots of worry and uncertainty among the Senate. For King Henry II and Thomas Becket had been good friends since they were lads. They hunted and dined together, and in the evening they'd sit on the porch, smoke their pipes, and talk about matters of state. The Senate thought that since they were such good friends, Henry would have more power over the church, but they would not have to worry for long. Soon there came rumors of this dispute between Thomas and Henry over church and secular power and authority. On Friday night, my cousin was ill in bed, and he had a letter to deliver to the cook at Becket's house. So I said I'd be obliged to take it for him. I remember it took me half an hour to walk there in the cool breeze of the night. I practiced whistling a tune my mother had taught me. When I got there, when I neared the last corner, I heard a voice shout, "Thomas?" I didn't want to be seen, so I hid in a prickly bush. Henry came into view and stood right in front of the rose bush. "Thomas," he called again. Thomas came out of the house looking slightly troubled. "Oh, Henry, what a surprise. A pleasurable surprise indeed. Thomas, what is this I hear about you trying to take over the Albrundy case?" Henry said in a hushed anger. Dear Henry, and here I was thinking you had taken time away from your kingly life to come for tea and a talk like old times. Like old times, Henry said. "Need me remind you, Thomas, you are the one that's changed. Now all we can talk about is business, which is the precise reason I came forth this fine night." Thomas sighed and answered, "The Albrundy case? It is a matter of the church. He is a monk who stole a sum of money from the church and will be tried accordingly by the church. All matters of state will be tried by me, the King, Henry II, said Henry. "Be tried by me. It has nothing to do with you. It will be," Thomas started. I couldn't stay any longer. I was afraid I'd get caught. I got out, made my delivery, and left. That was the first time I saw Thomas Becket, Archbishop of Canterbury, up close. The next and last would not be as pleasant. Thomas fled to France. It was the gossip of the century. Well, not literally. The people bragged about how they knew he would never have lasted. Although there were rumors about why, no one actually knew. Apparently, he left early before the sun on a white Arabian horse with nothing but the clothes on his back. It didn't really affect me much. Life went on as normal. Then he came back and excommunicated all the high officials that had supported Henry. I couldn't believe it. This world was corrupt. How could two lifetime friends become enemies over power and money? I mean, it made me wonder what my supposed friends would do if we were ever in a similar circumstance. I'd be King Henry, that was for sure. A few weeks later, I was walking down Alexander Road. Well, it's more like a trail from the English Channel all the way up to Scotland. But anyway, so here I was walking. I was feeling sort of lonely. Then when like 3, maybe 4 knights rode up, and they asked me, and I expected them just to ignore me and ride by, like anyone higher than a commoner always did, as I gazed up at them in awe. It happened many a time before. But they stopped in front of me. And then, well, I was the only one on the road for miles and miles in either direction. But they asked me to ride with them. Well, not exactly. They told me not to talk or anything. They just needed me as a witness. Yeah, I was a little confused and scared, I'll admit. But they were nice. Excitement follows them wherever they go. At least that's what I've been led to believe. But I remembered what my mom said about not going with strangers, so I gently declined and went on with my way. A few days later, I heard that Thomas Becket had been brutally killed in the sanctuary of the cathedral. Guess who by? The 4 knights. They must have found some other poor soul to come and witness the tragedy. England was in mourning. King Henry was the villain. Actually, well, I don't think he was, but most everyone else did. After he walked barefoot all the way to Canterbury Cathedral and was choicefully flogged by 80 monks, only then did the people forgive him. You'll probably hear this story in several different versions, but this is a true one. I should know. I was there.